Hi, today I'm going to tell you how to configure VLANs, and this is a part of my advanced networking course. So, how to create a VLAN is quite simple. You go into config T and you say VLAN and then the ID that you want. You can also add a name. Sometimes it's easier to remember names than numbers, so you can just give your VLAN a name with the name command. And then that's it. Then you have created your network. Then you need to assign the ports that you want to this VLAN to belong to. So again, you go to config T, you go into the interface you want to belong to this network, to this VLAN. And then you go in, you could give it an IP address, this is not normal, but then you go to switch port mode access if you want to ensure that this is an access port. A switch port can either be an access port or a trunk port. If it's an access port, it belongs to one VLAN. If it's a trunk port, it will belong to multiple VLANs. Then I go to switch port access VLAN and then, for instance, VLAN 10, and that's it. Then you have configured the switch port. So here, for example, if you want to assign port number 18 to belong to VLAN 20, you go to interface fast Ethernet 018, do the switch port mode access to ensure that this is an access port, and then you go to switch port access VLAN 20, and that's it. Then you have assigned this port to VLAN 20. If VLAN 20 was not already configured, well then the iOS will actually configure it for you. It will say that VLAN 20 does not exist, but now I'm creating it. So it will actually do that for you if you have forgot to create it beforehand. Then you can go to see on interface fast Ethernet 18 if you don't want it to be belonging to a certain VLAN, you can just put no in front of the command. No switch port access VLAN 20. And then it will go back to belong to VLAN 1 again. Yeah, or you can go in and change it again. To see which VLANs that belong to different ports, you can use the command show VLAN brief. It will show you an overview of the different VLANs belonging to different ports. And here you can see that I've entered VLAN 20 on fast Ethernet 011, and then I can see now that fast Ethernet 011 belongs to VLAN 20 down here. Deleting a VLAN, if I don't want VLAN 20 anymore, I just go to config and I say no VLAN 20, and that's it. Then I delete it. Verifying, for instance, if I want to show a specific, I don't remember the number, but I remember the name. So if I want to show VLAN name student, well then it will show me which VLAN number that I have named student. Show VLAN summary. You can also see a summary of the different VLANs that you have already put in. Or just show VLANs will also show you the information about it. Show interfaces VLAN 20. VLANs are actually also like a virtual interface. So you can see that whether you have the VLAN is up or not, and you can see an overview of the packets going in and out of VLAN 20. So it will look like a normal interface actually. Yeah, and that's it. So just to give you a short overview, I have now here a very small network containing 4 different devices, and now I want to create a VLAN 10 and a VLAN 20 where I want these two from port 1 to 9 to belong to VLAN 10, and I want port 10 to 23 to belong to VLAN 20. So what I do, I go into the switch, here into the command line, and I go to enable mode and config mode. And now I start by creating the VLANs. And I say VLAN 10. And then I create the VLAN. I could give it a name, student, for instance. So now I've created VLAN 10. And I create VLAN 20. And I give that name IT. And then I exit it. And exit again. And then I can do a show VLAN. Then I can now see that I have these two different VLANs here. I have a VLAN 10 and a VLAN 20. At the moment, I have no ports assigned to it. But I want to do that. I want to assign these ports to the different VLANs. So I go to config T again. I can do a range instead of taking one port at a time. It's easier to assign a whole range of interfaces. So I go to interface range fast Ethernet 01 to 09, and I assign this to, I do a switch port mode access, and I do a switch port access VLAN 10. So now I have assigned all the ports from port 1 to port 9 to VLAN 10, and I do the same thing with the range from 10 to to 23, and I assign that I do switch port mode access. This is only done to ensure myself that these are now all access port and not trunk ports. And then I do switch port access VLAN 20. And I can do a show VLAN brief. And I can now see that the default VLAN is now only on 20. The default VLAN 1 is only on 24 and the 2 gigabit ports because I haven't done anything to them. And the two other, the student and the IT, are now assigned to the different ports that I've said. So that was it. Thank you.